So, spawning down in the bottom, or top left, top right. God, I couldn't have done that any worse. Spawning in the top right-hand position as the purple Zerg player, it is Heusa. And down in the bottom left, the yellow Protoss player, it's Cube. So, this is where things start getting fairly exciting. Semi-final time. Game number 1 of a best of 3. You want to advance forward to the finals. You want to get that first place spot because, boom, that is where you suddenly get bragging rights. Starbow, really popular now, getting even more popular with all the community attention. If you can say, I won the first ESL Starbow Cup, that's like something you casually slip into esports conversations. And I don't know about you, I have esports conversations all the time. It may be because I do so much casting and I'm involved with things like WCS and whatnot. But I do, I'm there, I'll be chilling with people. I'm like, so, cast WCS this weekend. And then potentially either Cube or Heusa would then come back to me with, yeah, this week I won the first ever Starbow tournament. And you'd be like, ah, I see, that is very impressive, congratulations. I feel outdone. But yeah, anyway, who cares? This is all for fun. There isn't a prize pool for this tournament. It's just exciting times because it's Starbow. It's a new game. It seems to work pretty well. It gives people a lot of fun. And it's in the arcade, and arcade now being free to play is just like huge because it means loads more people can get involved in StarCraft 2. Hopefully getting more people in the community. It makes me happy. It makes lots of people very happy. And yeah, them views, bro. Anyway, Cadrian's Citadel coming down. That is basically a cool little upgrade, as we see that. It creates a giant spike on top of your Nexus. Nexus gets a little bit happy. Pleased to see you. It's like, hey, is that Cadrian's amulet in your... Cadrian's Citadel in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? I can't believe I messed that joke up so badly. Anyway, what else is going down here is not too much. We've just got an expansion coming down from the Zerg player. Note that there's a drone waiting just in case there was anything crazy happening. Double gateway production is also sending a lot of zealots across, and that's why we're seeing Heusa drop down the spines. Only one spine down in the natural. That may not be enough. One spine is very little. The zealots can just walk past and head up into the main, so I'm surprised we don't have a spine caller being created up in the main. But 10 lings now in production. One zealot starting to work away. Nice positioning of that zealot. Arguably should have stayed there, just could have minimized the surface area that was there. Cube, though, being very aggressive. We've seen the two gateway play very effective against Zerg in Starbow. Simply because Lings and Hydras, which are both the hatch tech now, Roaches aren't there, very weak against Zealots. This spine caller now moving. Still a good number of Lings there. Slashing and hacking coming through, though. All very nice. And just as suspected, the Zealots are starting to move up. One will get pincered, though, and taken out very quickly. This spine caller is still poking and prodding. There was a good amount of damage. Attacking up onto the high ground, though, means that it only had a 50% hit chance, which is obviously not great. Still, though, we've got Zealots running through. Good amounts of damage being done here. Zerglings trying to get this round, but you need 6 Zerglings surrounding a Zealot to take it out effectively. So when you've got more, it reduces the surface area compared to how much Zealot there is. So that's more damage. That's pretty cool. Anyway, as it stands, things are all pretty good for Heusa. Defended it off. A lot of investment of resources came through from this. Cube losing more than Heusa has done so far by double. Significant amount. It was a brave move. Could have worked out well. Marching across the map with a good group of Zealots potentially gives you a quick, easy win in game number 1. However, it didn't work. Heusa managed to defend it after losing to it in his quarter-final game. But for now, the Forge is up. A couple more Zealots are out. Chronoboot's still being used, as of course, Cadrian's Citadel still working. It's not Cadence, I can't even say it. It is Cadrian's Citadel. I just can't speak anymore tonight. I don't know what's happened to me. Oh, nice surround here by these Zerglings. Able to start chipping away at the Zealots. They get taken out pretty quickly. Still a lot of Zerglings there. The probe getting pushed back. But that's some more damage done. Very nice trade there for Heusa, who behind this is able to secure up the third by being so aggressive out on the map. By getting this map presence, you're able to expand, get that good economy, and remember in Starbow, taking expansions really does ramp up the amount of money you have significantly, as each worker pulls in 8 resources per trip as opposed to 5 in standard StarCraft. So, with this third coming out, not only does production goes up, but it starts getting more cool. Interestingly, no queens as of yet. And the reason that's really interesting is queens are so integral to the Zerg macro mechanic. I'm surprised we're not seeing it. They work a bit different in Starbow compared to in standard StarCraft. Predominantly, it's their inject mechanic that's very different. Rather than injecting and then 40 seconds later for lava popping, it just increases lava production rate by 65%. Hatcheries can't hold more than 3 lava either, which is why macro hatches, such as this one from Heusa we're getting down now, have become a lot more popular. Zealots though heading up towards the third. Zergling's going to have to try and take that out. We also have the double Stargate production coming down. I'll be interested to see what comes out of here. One thing that you can see is Corsairs be used effectively. They're very good. They're only air-to-air fighters, but they can pick off Overlords very nicely. Mutalisks don't fare too well up against a nice group of Corsairs either, because apparently they deal splash damage, although I haven't actually seen that yet. So I can't confirm or deny, but my stream chat, who seem to know a lot about it, have said that to me. Another macro hatch is coming down. The other advantage of bringing these macro hatches down is it blocks up the areas you can get through. This third is quite a difficult one to hold actually, because while you can't stop units getting up there too easy, it's also very difficult for your own units to get up there if there were a drop. This Corsair just dealing some good damage at the moment, chipping away at that Overlord. Meanwhile, the robotics facility is done. You can follow into a robotics bay in order to give Reavers out. Reavers a siege unit, replace Colossi, deal no splash, or they do splash damage. They have a very slow attack that deals a ton of damage. Otherwise, this is all fairly normal. Hydra then coming out, that's quite late. Is going to start with the group spine upgrade, increasing Hydra range. Hydra's in Starbow very slow on and off creep, and therefore damage isn't that great until you get muscular augments where they can start being more active on the map. They are good defensively though. Corsair's going to start picking away at any overlords they can find. This is frustrating. It's going to supply block Heusa. Not something you really want to be happening. Of course, this many Corsairs are frustrating. Unlike Phoenix though in StarCraft 2, they don't have a lift ability, so at least they can't start chipping away at everything. There is a couple of spore coolers around, but look at the damage of this many Corsairs. They just start plowing through overlords so incredibly fast. They just basically don't care at all about this spore cooler. If this was StarCraft 2 standard and these were Phoenix, it'd be a very different story. So Heusa suddenly without overlords. Nearly all of them are dead. I think that is the last overlord dead. That is painful to watch as a Zerg main player myself, but more Corsairs coming up. They're just gonna basically prevent Heusa getting any supply up, and without any supply, guess what, he can't make anything. If he can't make anything, well, guess that means Cube wins. So Cube playing really nice, just playing smart, and that's always fun to see. A couple of overlords are getting pulled back. We can see the volcano lair right now. That's what Transfuse looks like now. Super cool. Meanwhile though, there's a lot of Corsairs, 9 of them on the field, 11 on the field now. They just melt Overlord. My god, that's painful. Hydras are there at the moment. Unfortunately, one of the observers lagging a little bit there. Corsairs trying to pull back as the Hydralisks deal good damage to them. They've got group spines upgrades. A Reaver is on its way down. And as I mentioned, Reaver's pretty solid. Cool. Pouch has left the game. He was lagging, so we're ready to go again. These two players, even though they are just playing for fun and obviously for the bragging rights, are taking it very seriously. These Corsairs are ridiculously effective against Overlords. Numerous Carapace has come down, trying to just stop these Overlords melting. But Heusa has spent a ridiculous amount of time supply blocked. I'm really feeling for him at the moment. The Reavers are going to be coming over too. Double Reaver drop really effective. As you see, Scarabs are the attack the Reavers use. They cost 15 minerals and they take a while to come out. You can only have 5. The damage they deal is very significant, but they do it as soon as they drop out, so that's incredibly important, because you can drop them out of a War Prism, instantly hit, they deal splash damage, kill drones super easily, and therefore can decimate a mineral line, and then hop them back into the War Prism and run away. Works nice. Okay, double Reaver production now coming through. This is quite cool. Chrono boosts are also being used. Everything good here for the moment. The Corsairs still looking pretty scary, just keeping a good eye on everything that may be about to come down. The +1 air weapons is on its way too. Even if that gives a small boost to Corsairs, that's going to do a lot, because even though they only do 5 damage per hit, they have just under 2 attacks per second. That's pretty huge. So the Corsairs still trying to find any Overlords, have managed to found a good group of them, and just look at those Overlords melt. Oh my goodness, that is a huge amount of damage coming out. This is devastating. The Hydralisks just managing to get underneath, trying to save it. The Spore Crawler not really doing too much to help that. But now in come these Reavers. They're going to do a bit more damage to the mineral line than, of course, those Corsairs can. But just look at these supply blocks. They are devastating. 18 Overlords currently in production. That's pretty much all of Heusa's minerals tied up straight away, just getting unsupply blocked. Down come the Reavers, and this is the damage I'm talking about. Unfortunately, those hits weren't that good. Instant reactions came down. We just saw another cool trick there. In StarCraft 2, there's some cool stuff with how AI works. It'll target if basically one unit is about to kill a drone, another unit won't target it. However, in Starbow, that doesn't occur. So we saw 2 Reavers attack the same drone, effectively over double killing it and wasting one of those scarabs, which do cost minerals, remember. So Heusa is going to attempt to take a 4th base. Supply block finally fixed. A good number of spare Overlords are in the mix. However, +1 air weapons is nearly done. Already, these Corsairs, 12 of them on the field, have been devastatingly effective up against the Overlords, but that's only going to get worse. So, for the moment, Corsairs just waiting, just sitting around. We do have, once again, those Reavers in the War Prism, but the War Prism gets taken out by that Spore Crawler. Big hit, and that is a significant amount of damage done. There are more Reavers down here, a lot more Reavers down here. Double War Prisms on their way down. Cube is just playing what I want to say is a bit of a troll strategy at the moment. The Hydralisks getting underneath those Corsairs, able to take a good number of them down. Ouchie. But still, in come the Corsairs. Not many Hydralisks sitting back here. They're attempting to go Overlord hunting. Are they going to find many? Yes, they do. They do have the +1 air weapons now, meaning they do 6 damage per hit. That's like 12 damage a second. Pretty huge. And just look at these Overlords melt. This is agonizing to see go down. And while the Corsair numbers are starting to thin, doesn't really matter. There's a push coming in from Heusa now. He's got a number of Hydralisks all knocking on that door, continuing on with their pain. The Reavers getting some more damage. We're seeing just how effective Reavers can be up against squishier units. But unfortunately, it's the Hydras just everywhere. The attack speed from these Reavers doesn't seem to be fast enough. The War Prism taking a good amount of damage, nearly losing another one. But for the time being, the Hydras are just plowing through this probe line. And that is devastating. It's a monumental amount of damage coming through. And while this play has been very entertaining to watch from Cube, Heusa seems to be getting on top of it. Still hasn't quite recovered from that last supply block. Does have the Corsairs back now to pick off Overseers. Good pick up and drop micro also being demonstrated by those Reavers. So yeah, everything is looking pretty solid. These poor Reavers are having a bit of a sad time. They're doing their utmost, but they've got to wait for more Scarabs to get constructed. It takes a while to get it all through. Damage output is great if they hit, but not so much if they don't, quite obviously. Behind this, we do have the Lurker Den now completed, and that opens up the option. Oh no, the Lurker Den hasn't been completed. I take that back. It's not done yet. Hasn't been morphed in from that Hydrogen. I thought it just was. But Lurkers wouldn't be too good in this situation. Lurkers are very effective against lots of smaller ground units, but against things like the Reavers, not going to work as well. More Reavers are in production, just pretty much getting spammed out for the time being. The third base up and running for Cube. This is aiding his income, giving him a bit more, but there's already 4 bases down for Heusa. The trouble for Heusa is just the lack of supply he's had for the majority of this game due to the Corsairs being so devastatingly effective up against all of those Overlords. In now come though, the Corsairs, just getting ready. First bits of damage going through. We can see some bigger hits going through now. That's the sort of splash the Cube was looking for. The working out though, looking pretty healthy for Heusa at the moment. And well, this is a bit unfair. I love the suggestion there from one of my Twitch chat that Overlords should get burrowed. It's not too crazy either because everything gets burrowed at the moment for ZvP. As I cough my lungs out a bit. So, I say everything gets burrowed. Of course it does in StarCraft 2. But so much gets tunneling claws as well. Finally we see Heusa be able to deal with these horrible Corsairs with Scourge, flying Banelings, big hits coming down. The Corsairs are going to struggle to deal with this many Scourge though. Look at those massive hits. It's so satisfying to see after they have slaughtered so many innocent Overlords. Still more Scourge chasing down. Scourge cost trying to see at the moment. Yeah, 25 minerals, 75 gas. So they are quite gas heavy, but they're so effective against air. Storm is now down though, so a lot of splash damage potential. Very close game at the moment. Resources lost nearly identical. That is incredibly close for the time being. A couple of Dragoons coming in. We've also got Kadarin's amulet on its way. Goes along with, of course, Kadarin's Citadel, which comes down on the Nexus, giving them Chrono Boost. Hasn't been actually researched on either of these expansion Nexi as of yet. The Reaver's doing some much better damage. Charge is done for those. Cube asking for a brief pause, and that gives us a moment to really reflect on what we've seen so far. So, the majority of this game has been Cube harassing with Corsairs and taking out Overlords time and time again. They deal so much damage, and with that you just start seeing everything get taken down. And no supply for Heusa meant that he couldn't actually produce anything. That happened time and time again. However, Heusa was able to defend against the Reaver drops very effectively multiple times. What he was unable to do though is actually do too much damage as of yet. So we still have the push coming in. Once again, another Reaver drop. Has managed to kill a fair few drones. As you can see, splash damage from Scarabs, very effective. Reavers actually deal like a huge amount of damage per hit. It doesn't actually... I can't see why they're making more Scarabs, damn it, but they do make a lot. Against things like Hydras, that's good. A Storm also went down there, doing more damage to those Hydras still, but a couple of Scourge taking down those War Prism. The Flying Banelings, very scary. Ventral Sacks getting researched as well, so drops can come through. For the moment, though, a pretty much Reaver High Templar army being constructed currently out of Cube. Reavers are pretty expensive. 200 minerals, 100 gas, so that results in this being a very gas-heavy army. The High Templar, of course, are still just as expensive as in StarCraft 2, I believe. I'll have to double-check that. Anyway, in we go with another push. The Hydra's trying to hold this back. Upgrades currently sitting at 2-0 up against 1-0. So a slight upgrade lead for Cube at the moment, but Storms more than make up for that. Evade being researched. Evade, for those of you who don't know, allows observers to use the phase shield ability, which makes them enemy unable to attack them unless they are ordered to for a while, so they don't auto-attack observers. Meanwhile, queued up after that, the observatory, is the observer speed boost. All looking good. Viper's Nest also coming down, and we're really into the late game now. I think this is actually the longest game that I've cast of Starbow so far. And it's going good, I'm enjoying it. Lots of action, even though this game has been going on for quite a while. I don't know if you feel the same. Leave me a comment below in either Twitch chat or in the YouTube comment section. But it doesn't seem like a long game to me at the moment. It seems like there's been so much action, which is really keeping up. It's a steady pace of interactions. Another DT play coming in there towards the third. Meanwhile, up at the fourth base, Reavers now making their way forward. Nice Storm on those Hydralisks. Good damage being done, and the Hatchery taking huge damage from those Scarabs and the Reavers that launched them. These Storms, relentless, just constantly dealing so much splash. Really challenging to be able to stop this. The DTs as well, the multitasking, very effective. Good burrow play coming down there, saving as many drones as possible. The Hydralisk coming over too, but the Overseer doesn't seem to be with the army. The Lurker Den is finally completed, and as such, Lurkers can be made. The Overseer, the Observer count sitting at 2 currently, one with the army, the other one also with the army. Both of them there, that's good times. In terms of the counter-attack, we are seeing a Hydra drop come down. A little bit of creep getting generated, but I don't think that actually does anything, it would appear. Generate creep is in the game, but I don't see any creep being generated. But Cube is pushing in towards the natural base now. What he is doing is trying to end this out with a base race. Of course, the Reavers deal such huge damage per hit that taking down buildings effortless for them. It's a bold move doing this, but it's paying off, and that's what's important. Of course, these drops are still ongoing, but I don't feel that Heusa has enough. He's 100 supply down now, and Cube is just doing such a spectacular job at the moment of picking apart everything. He's hugely ahead. And yeah, GG's called. Cube takes game number 1 of this best of 3 of the semi-final. Game number 2 coming up any moment.